Your Royal Highness, first of all, thank you for supporting our campaign. Can I ask why you're such a firm believer in the apprentice scheme, and what made you want to support the Cambridge News campaign to place 125 young apprentices?
Young people not only need an education, but they also need a job. The way that life has been over the last 30 or 40 years or so has been that there's been a large group of people from which a large pool of people, baby boomers, who they've been able to select from. Now businesses are looking to actually find that there aren't those numbers of people available. So quite apart from having an education, they're going to have to go back into the training because they're going to have to recruit. And so it's trying to encourage young people to recognise that apprenticeship route is a route that is going to give them the value that they want from a job, but it's also encouraging businesses to recognise that the number of people that they're going to have to recruit and train, which they have not had to do for a number of years, is very important. And actually, the statistics show that once you've got a young person in as an apprentice, they tend to prove their worth pretty quickly in the workspace.
And what impact will these 125 apprenticeships and others like them have on young people's lives and the Cambridge economy?
Oh, I think it'll be hugely important. If you think of what Cambridge has been able to do in terms of science and technology for the UK, but if you look at the population here, there are lots and lots of new businesses that are coming up that are going to look for local employees. And one of the things that has become really evident to me is that if we're going to encourage businesses to grow, they're going to need new talent and new people with the skills. Unfortunately, it's quite difficult to find those skills because the education system, in some cases, and only in some cases, isn't providing that full range. So the apprenticeship route is a way of being able to give young people the skills, the knowledge, and the education, all in combination, to make them really valued by employers.
How can employers be encouraged to take on more apprentices?
It's going to be a matter of getting out there and talking to them and actually encouraging them to see what the value is. It's also benchmarking against other businesses that have taken on an apprentice so that they learn from other people's experience locally. There is an element, as far as business is concerned, of risk, but I would say to them that I think that young people deserve that opportunity, and they deserve that opportunity to gain experience. I'm sure you will have read in the advertising section of your newspaper 3 years experience required in the job applications. I would try and throw that term 3 years experience out for the simple reason that how does a young person get the 3 years experience unless you give them a chance? And so the apprenticeship route is a way of being able to give these young people the opportunity, and the businesses are training them and educating them, and they are therefore much more loyal to you as a business and will probably stay with you longer. And so there's a whole range of advantages that I think that businesses should think about, not just about the fact that employment legislation and what are the risks it's going to cost us. Try and look at it the other way around, which is that what's the value add that this person is going to bring in the long term if we train him or her into having a skill. And if you are an apprentice and you do want to be an apprentice, having become an apprentice means that you have a skill. That doesn't necessarily mean that you should not be prevented from going to university at a later stage. And I would advise young people to have a skill first before going to university, for two reasons. One of which, you will be much more useful in the workspace and your value will be recognised. And the other thing is that if you go to university when you are an employee of a business rather than under your own steam, they might pay for it.
Thank you for your time.